Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Morning Brews. My name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz, and if you're watching the video version, you will notice I am still holding my microphone. So I listened to yesterday's episode and noticed some hiccups with the audio. I made a couple adjustments, not many, ran a test, and this one sounded pretty good. So I'm going to stick with this and continue to make small improvements, and I believe that brings us to today's topic, which is progress over perfection. So I've got three things I want to talk to you about. Two of them are things I do every morning when I wake up, and the third one is something I'm going to start doing. Given how much I talk, I may tell you a little bit more about my morning routine than we originally planned, but let's get into it. So number one is recording content. Most of the time, my preference is to knock these out in a 2 to 4 hour session each month. Do all the recording, planning, and as much of the editing as possible. And then each morning I wake up and schedule the episode or schedule them on a weekly basis. My preference is to do that so I get it knocked out, get it out of the way, don't spend a whole lot of time during the month doing it. However, they do say that a plan is a series of events that doesn't happen. That reminds me, I made that same comment in the most recent episode of Veteran Talk Show where I talked to a friend of mine, a pilot, Alex Petrowski. So be sure to check out that episode. We cover a lot of the same stuff as it relates to habits and morning routines in working towards whatever your definition of success may be. So I understand that I won't always get that done. However, the number one thing I do is if the episodes are not already recorded, I make sure to wake up, knock one out, even if I do have to shoot from the hip every once in a while. My goal is to provide content with this show, and I believe this relates back to what Eric Thomas talks about when he says that it's sacred. So I don't do this for the money. I have been recording content for some time and identifying weaknesses in my marketing as well as copy and creative and content. As far as social media, this show doesn't have any type of revenue that is turning me into the next Joe Rogan, and I know that and I understand it. So why are you doing all this, Ryan? Why are you giving all this content away for free? Just like I said, Eric Thomas says, because it's sacred. Because he says, because I've been given life and a gift, I've got to give back. So this is me giving back. I've had a lot of wonderful guests on the Business and Brews show. That's in part why I decided to start Morning Brews. So I wake up, I record content, and I do it because it's a habit that I have formed, and I want to give back. I want to make sure to put out valuable content that is advantageous and beneficial to the listeners. So that's why I do this. That's why I developed a habit surrounding it. And that's why I believe that you should record content as well. If you are not a video person, at least record audio. Having someone very close to me pass away recently, it was very difficult to find pictures and video. As much as you can possibly find, it will never be enough. So I know that whenever I go, that's not going to be an issue because I have tons and tons and tons of recorded content out there. So if you don't do it for yourself, then find another reason why you should do it. I'm a huge supporter of recording content, and that's why I believe you should too. Number two, the side hustle. Everybody has a side hustle, something they do to make a couple dollars on the side. When I started my business 4 or 5 years ago, I quickly noticed that one thing I was unaware of and did not see much improvement on was cash flow. So I now have my operation up and running, where it's very successful, and I have a great team that works with me. But I have a side hustle, and one of the goals of this side hustle is to help teach me that cash flow, help me understand and get a picture of what my numbers are, what my margins look like, and how to scale a business. Now, once again, it is a side hustle. I have every intention of turning this into somewhat of an automated income for myself. There are a couple bridges I need to cross before I can make that happen. However, it's drop shipping. I haven't mentioned what it is, but it's drop shipping. It's very effective. I have really good margins, and basically to teach myself the cash flow, I need to be in the numbers every day. And so I have taken steps to make sure that happens. One of those things, including the fact that when it comes to drop shipping, when someone places an order, you have a clock that starts ticking. And basically that clock is, you need to go place the order and have it sent to them, and attach the tracking number to your customer's order. Especially if you're using a third-party online marketplace and not your own website. So all that being said, obviously someone else is shipping the product. I have to place the order. I may have to wait a day or two before the tracking number shows up. So all this, if you don't know what drop shipping is, I'd be happy to do some more content on that. But basically getting in to those orders, checking for tracking number updates, checking for new orders, and then logging all of the information. I keep track of every product that I sell, every customer I have, the date the orders come in, what the fulfillment channels are, the cost, the selling fees, the estimated tax, the net profit. I keep all of that on, and of course the gross revenue from the sale of the actual product, all of that on a spreadsheet that I manage. And I always check on my totals. I always check on my overall numbers to make sure it is working and to get better at managing that cash flow. So basically, I record content every single morning, or at least try to put out recorded content every single morning. And that is more to give back, to make sure that anything that I may have or know about or be aware of gets put out there, because as much as I understand that I'm not the expert in anything, there may be something extremely valuable that I have or I know about that I need to tell someone else, or someone else needs to hear. So it's not very fair for me to keep that inside and not let it out. And then a skill that I'm working on to improve, I do that every single morning as well, with learning how to manage my cash flow on the side hustle I have. The third thing I want to talk about that kind of goes hand in hand with the first one, as far as recording content, is writing. And so this is something that I've been doing on the side. However, I don't release any of the content. I am working on a couple of books. One is going to be called Carbon Copy, where it draws the correlation of leadership between the military and civilian sector. So once I get that a little closer to doing some editing and have some mock covers done up, then I'll start to push that out and see what you guys think about it. But the point that I'm making is, as much as I write for that in my other book, and even the writing I've done as it relates to what I do on Amazon, I haven't released a lot of content as far as emails, blog posts, articles, and stuff like that. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to come up with a process, just like I did for this show, just like I did for my drop shipping. I'm going to set aside time, and then every single morning I wake up, I'm going to incorporate that into my morning routine. I already have reading. I have in my calendar, walking my dog, drinking a glass of water, eating breakfast. All those things are a part of my morning routine. I'm going to incorporate writing into my morning routine as well. And I think if I come up with a system and I write it down and I follow it, and then I do it for as long as I've been doing this segment or this show, then it will become a habit and I will be able to release more and more content. Once I know where I'm going to be putting this content, more than likely to start with, I will be shooting it out in emails. So that being said, I hope this episode has been valuable. I hope I have provided some insight. If there's anything in here that you don't do in your morning routine and you would like to try, I strongly encourage it. Yesterday, I recorded an episode with Linda for Business and Brews, and she does essential oils. So that is something I'm sure is part of her morning routine. So be sure to check that out when it comes out in about 2 weeks. Super excited for that episode. But if you want to be notified of new episodes and start to receive the articles and blog posts that I write to put out, then you're going to need to be an email subscriber. So go to the website, sign up to receive our emails. If nothing else, fill out the contact form, and I will add your email to the list. Also, if you have something you do in your morning routine you think people should know about, or even want to come on the Business and Brew show, then that website is the best way to reach out to us. Fill out that contact form, be a guest on the show, sign up for a time slot. I appreciate you. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Tell your friends to subscribe as well. My name is Ryan Smeltz, and I will see you on tomorrow's episode of Morning Brews.